His Grace Ranchor Govinda Das Prabhuji, and who will be covering through this Bhagavad Gita 8.17 to 8.19 verse. So let us hear from Prabhuji and attentively answers that we can get some nectar. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, over to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all devotees. First of all, I would like to apologize for being late. Actually, I was ready, but no, somehow my system hung. I mean, so nothing was working. So I had to restart, and it took quite some time. So I'm sorry for that. So let us start now. Start with the kirtan. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana
Gopijanavalabha
Vallabha
Jaya
Jaya
Girivaradhari
Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodhanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamunavanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari
Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Nadira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav
Jai Madhav Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav
Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Subhadramai Jaya Sudarshana
Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Subhadramai Jaya Sudarshana
Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananda Dev Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananda Dev
Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananda De Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananda
Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai
Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai
Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva
Jaya Pancho Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva
Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinde Devi Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinde Devi
Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Runde Devi Tulsi Maharani Jaya Runde Devi
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai
Jai
Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki
Jai
all glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you all devotees for joining for the Sunday program. So today we are going to discuss Bhagavad Gita, Shloka number 18.17 to 18.19. So so let us read the Shloka and translation. I will share my screen. So can you see?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so can you see completely or?
A complete screen, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay,
Translation and purport. Translation we can see. Shloka and translation.
okay. Okay, so we'll read Shloka. So Avaraj Prabhu, will you repeat after me? No.
Yes, bro.
Sahasra Yuga Paryantam
Sahasra Yuga Paryantam
Aharyad Brahmano Vidu
Aharyat Brahmano Vidu
Atrim Yuga Sahasrantam
Ratri Yuga Sahasrantam
Teho Ratra Vidojana.
Teho Ratra Vidojana
18, Shloka number 18. Avyakta Vyaktaya Sarvaha
Avyakta Vyakta Sarvaha
Bhavanti Aharagame
Prabhavanti Aharagame
Ratyagame Praliyante
Ratri Agame Praliyante
Tatrevakta Samatnake.
Tatraivakta Samajnake
Shloka number 19. Bhudagramasa Evayam
Bhutagrama Sayevayam
Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate
Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate
Ratyagame Avashapartha
Ratri Agame Avashapartha
Prabhavanti Aharagame.
Prabhavati Aharagame.
So translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
So translation was text number 17. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Purport. The duration of material universe is limited. It is manifested in cycles of kalpas. A kalpa is a day of Brahma, and one day of Brahma consists of 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas or ages: Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. The cycle of Satya is characterized by virtue, wisdom, and religion, there being practically no ignorance and vice, and the yuga lasts for 17 lakh 22,000 28,000 years. In the Treta Yuga, vice is introduced, and the yuga lasts for 12 lakh 96,000 years. In the Dwapara Yuga, there is an even greater decline in virtue and religion, vice increasing, and the yuga lasts for 8 lakh 64,000 years. And finally, in Kali Yuga, the yuga we have now been experiencing over the past 5,000 years, there is an abundance of strife, ignorance, irreligion, and vice, true virtue being practically non-existent, and the yuga lasts for 4 lakh 32,000 years. In Kali Yuga, vice increases to such a point that at the termination of the yuga, the Supreme Lord himself appears as Kalki Avatar, vanquishes the demons, saves his devotees, and commences another Satya Yuga. Then the process is set rolling again. These 4 yugas rotating 1,000 times comprise one day of Brahma, and the same number of comprise one night. Brahma lives 100 such years and then he dies. These 100 years of Earth, by Earth calculation, total to 311 billion, trillion and 40 billion Earth years. By this calculation, the life of Brahma seems fantastic and interminable. But from the viewpoint of the eternity, it is a brief as appearing in like bubbles in the Atlantic. Brahma and his creation are all part of the material universe, and therefore they are in constant flux. In the material universe, not even Brahma is free from the process of birth, old age, disease, and death. Brahma, however, is directly engaged in service of Supreme Lord in the management of his universe, of this universe. Therefore, at once attains liberation. Elevated sannyasis are promoted to Brahma's particular planet, Brahmaloka, which is the highest planet in the material universe, and which survives all heavenly planets in the upper strata of the planetary system. But in due course, Brahma and all the inhabitants of Brahmaloka are subjected to death according to the laws of material nature. So, in the interest of time, we will only read one translation, I mean, purport. Then actually, we will discuss the topic. So before that, we will have the prayers. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप सत्कदा मह्यं ददान्ति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुधापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखाम्बिकांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पदे गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्दा। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूगं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपादमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं। परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So again, once more, I would like to welcome all devotees who have joined for the Sunday program. So we will talk about that shlokas, which 8.17 to 8.19. So Prabhuji, can you see my screen now still?
Yes, Prabhuji, able to see.
So I have a few slides for reference. So we'll look at it and discuss. So so this is today's three shlokas. Actually, is talking about the material world mainly, the temporary nature of the material world. So Krishna in this chapter 8 chapter, we have seen in the past various sessions that various devotees have covered different topics, very important topics. Like for example, what is the importance of remembering the Lord at the time of death, right? And last time, actually, Vishal Gaurang Prabhu discussed about the previous sloka, Abrahma Bhuna Loka Puraravartino Arjuna, Mama Vetit Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. So, wherever in the material world, up to the topmost planet of Brahmaloka, there is actually the miseries of material existence, like birth, death, old age, and disease. Right? This is the temporary nature of the material world. So, in the three slokas which we are going to discuss, we will look little more in depth about the nature of the material world. So, as such, if you go by the shloka, it is actually a little bit technical topic. But actually we will try to discuss also, importance of devotional service, because as such these topics are not really, very interesting or important from a devotee's perspective. The material world actually is, it's a temporary place anyway, right? So descriptions of material world may attract some people, no, but ultimately we have to understand the concept or the essence that actually the material world is temporary. So that is the essence that we have to understand, though there are more details mentioned. Okay, so let us move on. So we have seen this sloka already, right? The three slokas. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Akarat Brahmano Vidu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrandam Teho Ratra Vidojana. So what it means is that, basically it's telling that, basically one day of Brahma is 1,000 yugas. The 1,000 yugas actually. So this we'll see in little more detail. So this 1,000 yuga is actually the Mahayuga or Chadur Yuga, which is a combination of the Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Satya Yuga. So all together it is around 43 lakh years, right? So that is the four yugas together. So this, when it repeats 1,000 times, that is one day of Brahma. So Brahma's life is very, very huge. One day of Brahma itself so much. The next shloka is talking avyakta advyakta sarvaha prabhavandya ragame ratragame praliyande tatre vyakta savatnage. So it mentioned that at the beginning of day of Brahma, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and thereafter when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest state again. So basically, in a simple term, what it means is that all the material activities from in the lower planetary system, from Swargaloka and down, they are destroyed at the night of Brahma, right? And then the next day of Brahma, again Brahma starts the creation, and then again the lower planetary systems are manifested, and all the living entities are actually who are in the residents of the Swargaloka and below. They actually are going into a dormant state. They are, with their subtle bodies, they enter into the body of Garbhodakasha Vishnu, and then remain in an unmanifested state for millions and millions of years. And as we have seen, right, the day of Brahma is very, very huge. And then again, when the next day of Brahma comes, again they all manifest actually. So that is what I know. So basically, the point is that even after the day of Brahma, right, even such after such a long period of time, the living entities, if they are not taking the devotional service of the Lord, they cannot free themselves from the cycle of birth and death. So their karma is preserved, and they are, though they are in a dormant state for so many millions of years, when the next creation happens, they are continue from where they have left. Okay, so one example I heard actually in a lecture is just like, for example, the laptop we have, right? So in the laptop, no, we have, no, when I'm on the laptop, and now I'm in the Zoom meeting, right? I can see there are different applications. No, I can use Word, Windows, so many different applications, and I can do so many things. I can see people far away. So everything is manifested when the laptop is on. No, it is full of activity. And when I shut down the laptop, though everything is there, for example, all these files which I've saved, everything is there in the laptop, but it is in a dormant state. No, there is no activity. We cannot really perceive or see anything, right? Though it is there, it's in a dormant state. It's completely in a unmanifested form. And then again, when we start, again it is manifest. So this way, similarly, the material world also, the living entities and all the activities of the living entities actually goes into a dormant stage during the night of Brahma, right? And then again, everything manifests. So that is unmanifested state. And then the last sloka, it is mentioned, Buddha Gramasa Evayam, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate, Ratragame Avashapartha, Prabhavandya Ragame. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrive, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are all helplessly annihilated. So that actually essence of the shloka. So these are the three important shlokas, which is talking about the mostly it is discussing about the universe, right? What is the life of Brahma? What happens to living entities? What is a partial devastation, etc. These are the topics which are actually covered in this. Okay. Yeah. So in this picture, I mean, it's difficult to see. It's a small picture, but I think most of us are familiar with this picture, right? So what we are seeing on the right side is one universe, right? In one universe, no, every universe there is Lord Brahma, and there is the 14 planetary system, right? So actually, our planet is in the middle. It's called Goloka, which is the middle planetary system. So and then there are planetary systems above us, which actually there is like Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka, right? Then Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka. So these are the higher planetary system, and below there are lower planetary system called subterranean planets, which are known as Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala. So these are the lower planetary system. So this is actually, these are all planetary system. It's not just one planet. No? So every planetary system, there are innumerable planets available. So these are the different planetary system. And from Swargaloka onwards, right? So like we mentioned that we are part of the Bhuloka. So generally we say the three worlds. No, the three worlds generally referred in various scriptures are the Bur, Bhur, Swaha. Right? We have Om, Bhur, Bhur, Swaha, right? They say no. So that these are the three planets. So Bhuloka, Bhurloka, and Swargaloka. So Swargaloka till Swargaloka actually is uh, like above the Swargaloka is actually not destroyed when the Brahma sleeps, and from Swargaloka downwards everything is completely destroyed. No, during the night of Brahma, right? So the people residents of the higher planetary system above Swargaloka, they are actually not affected by the partial devastation of the Brahma. It is mentioned, but the no the planetary system just above the Swargaloka is called Maharloka. So it is mentioned that so in the partial devastation there are two things which are mentioned. One is that there will be there will be actually there is a fire, huge fire emanating from Sankarshana. So Sankarshana is actually supporting the universe, below. Below the Patala Loka, Lord Sankarshana is residing, and he's supporting the universe. And no, during the time of devastation, the huge fire comes from his mouth, which is raging for look very thousands of years. The fire will continue, right? And then after that, so because of the extreme heat, it is mentioned that the residents of Bhuarloka, sorry, Maharloka, right? They will actually move to the higher planets actually, which is above them. Uh, like Janaloka, Tapaloka, etc. So, and then when again next day come, they again come back to this planet. And then after this fire, actually, it is mentioned that no, there will be like torrents of rain for many millions of years, and then again it becomes flooded. Actually, all the planetary system are submerged up till Swargaloka. So that is what actually is explained. Okay, so now actually we should understand. So to understand fully the position of Brahma, right, we should also understand like no what is the root, no, where everything is coming from. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, in second canto, right? Actually, there is a discussion between Narad Muni and Brahmaji. No, Narad Muni is asking Brahmaji, like he addresses Brahmaji, as the creator. And then he tries to glorify, because Narad Muni is Brahmaji is father of Narad Muni, and no, he tries to address him as a creator. Then Brahmaji actually clarifies that no, I am not the creator, I am only a secondary creator, and actually, supreme creator is supreme personality of God at Sri Krishna, right? So that way clarify. So from a devotee perspective, we should understand, what is the position of Brahmaji, right? And how what are the different like how does what are the different incarnations of the Lord, till Brahmaji, right? So this we'll try to understand today. Okay, in this chart we can see that uh, so we can see that so Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, right? He is the source of everything. Okay, so this we have understood, from various scriptures. For example, in Srimad Bhagavatam, no, there's a shloka which says that Ede chamsa kala pumsa Krishnasya Swayam Bhagavan. Right? So Ede chamsa kala pumsa Krishnasya Bhagavan Swayam. So what actually it means that so basically in the previous shloka it is described about various incarnation of Krishna, right? And in the end it says that all this which I mentioned already, right, are actually either portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Supreme Lord. But actually the Supreme Personality is Krishna, right? Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Then similarly in Brahma Samhita it is mentioned, that Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtan Nanavadara Magarod Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Sambhava Parama Pumanyu Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So again, no similar thing. So he's saying that the different incarnation, Rama, like Lama, etc. Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena. These are different Kala expansion. So there are different technical terms, like the Kala, like Vibhava, Prakasha, like there are different categories of expansions of the Lord. So no, Ramadi Murtishu Kaladiyamena Dishtan, right? So basically it's saying that Nana Avadaram Agarod Bhuvaneshu Kintu. So Lord has taken various expansions in the material world. But Krishna's to Nana Avadaram Avadesh Bhuvaneshu Kintu, Krishna Swayam Sambhava Parama Pumanyu. So he's saying that, but actually Krishna is Supreme Personality Godhead, and he has directly come, in the form of Sri Krishna in the Dwapara Yuga. So, and then in Brahma Samhita, we see a lot of, so Brahmaji we saw, right? He is the topmost engineer of the material world. Now, there is nobody who actually knows about the particular universe than Brahmaji. We can see from this creation of the Brahma. So, Brahmaji himself has composed the Brahma Samhita. The Brahma Samhita is an authentic Vedic scripture where actually we get a lot of information about the Supreme Lord, right? So from these descriptions, we can understand. And in Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord actually says in various places that Aham Adirhi Devanam, right? And Aham Sarvasya Prabho Matta Sarvam Pravartade, right? That, so various places he's saying that Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Swede Sarajaram. So all these shlokas actually, we can understand again and again that Krishna is the source of everything. So we see from the Vedic scriptures, this is a hierarchy, right? So Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and everything is contained, coming from him. So the primary expansions of Lord Krishna, the first expansion is Balram on one side, and on the other side actually there is Srimati Radharani. Okay, so these are the two primary expansions of the Lord, and from Balram, then the first Chaturvyuha is manifested, which is consisting of Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. So this is not the first Sankarsana, first Chaturvyuha. Okay, so from Balram, the first Chaturvyuha manifest, and from the first Sankarsana, Lord Narayana is manifested, and from Narayana again the second Chaturvyuha, which is consisting of Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. No, second Chaturvyuha is manifested, and from this Mahasankarshana, second Sankarsana, actually all the Purusha Avataras are coming, right? So Purusha Avataras. So first Purusha Avatara is the Karanodakashai Vishnu. So in this picture we can see that there's a Vishnu which is lying down, right? And then there is an ocean called the Karana Ocean. The Karana Ocean is also known as the causal ocean, Karana Samudra. So this ocean is called causal ocean because that is the cause of the entire material creation. So how it is mentioned is that the entire existence, no, it is told that, no, if you consider the entire existence, like which is consisting of material and spiritual worlds, the spiritual world is known as the Tripada Vibhuti. No, it is the 3/4 of the total creation, and Ekapada Vibhuti is the material creation, which is only 1/4 of the total creation. So the material world, which is, unlimited and extremely beyond our imagination, extremely huge, is actually a very small part. It is mentioned like, it is like a small cloud in an entire sky. In the sky, there's a small cloud, right? That is the source of the material world. It's called known as Mahatattva, right? That is the original cause. And the Mahavishnu, the Karanodakashai Vishnu is also known as Mahavishnu. This Mahavishnu is lying in this Karana ocean, right? That is actually, and then when this Mahavishnu is breathing out, when he exhales from every pore of his body, there is one Brahmanda which is coming, one universe is coming out. So there are innumerable Brahmanda which actually comes out of the body of Mahavishnu. And as he exhales, all these universes comes out, right? And when he inhales, all these universes again goes back to his body. So this, so in Brahma Samhita, there is a shloka, no? It says that, Yasya, what is that? Basically, it says that the material, all this material manifested world exists only for one breath of Mahavishnu. Nivashasita Kala, like that it mentioned actually. Jivandi Loma Vilaja, like that it says. So basically, for one breath of Mahavishnu, the entire, the universe is manifested. So whatever we discussed about Brahmaji, right? So Brahmaji's life we saw, it's extremely huge. So, but this extreme huge life of Brahmaji is only the duration of one breath of Mahavishnu. So when he exhales, everything is coming into existence, and when he inhales, everything actually is going back. So that is the life of one Brahma. So that is why in the purport we saw that Prabhupada mentions that it is like bubbles of the Atlantic Ocean, right? Let's say if you are boiling the water, right, we can see that so many bubbles come and it just exists for a very fraction of a second and it goes away. So from Mahavishnu's perspective, when he is looking, he is just seeing that, no, all these Brahmandas are like just bubbles. No, it comes and exists for a very small amount of time and immediately it vanishes, right? So it's very very insignificant from from Mahavishnu's perspective. So this way we understand. So Mahavishnu is a plenary portion of the Supreme Lord, right? So in Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned, no, Ekamshena Siddho Jagat. Ekamshena Siddho Jagat. So it is mentioned that by small fragmental portion, the entire material world is manifested, and, no, it is maintained by a very small fragmental portion. So generally we see that in Bhagavad Gita, the things are mentioned in a very brief manner, no, in a very indicative manner. It is not explained in a very detailed manner. But actually, if you go to Srimad Bhagavatam, then we see that very detailed explanations are there on of the cosmic manifestation. For example, this particular shloka, Ekam Shreya Siddho Jagat. Lord is just saying that, no, like it is the entire material creation is maintained by my small portion, but it doesn't say, no, like how it is actually happening. Like, no, like we saw that Krishna, Balram, first Chaturvyuha, Narayana, second Chaturvyuha, then Mahavishnu is coming, right? And this Mahavishnu actually is the original source of all the material creation, right? So this way, so and then what happens after that? So the universe are created, right, when he's breathing out, and the Mahavishnu enters by his plenary portion known as Garbhodakashai Vishnu into every universe. No, he enters as Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and half of the universe is filled with this perspiration, and he's lying in this Garbhodaka ocean, Mahavishnu. Garbhodakashai Vishnu. So that is the previous picture actually we saw, right? From Garbhodakashai Vishnu is lying down. We can see that, and from his navel a lotus flower is coming, and then on the lotus flower Lord Brahmaji is situated, and all the 14 planetary system is existing along the stem of this lotus. So, and then Brahmaji is situated on the topmost planet, which is known as Brahmalok or Satyaloka. So this is the second Vishnu. So there are three Purushas. No, one is the Mahavishnu. Then from Mahavishnu, the second Purusha, Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And then the third expansion of Mahavishnu is known as Kshirodakshay Vishnu. So this Kshirodakshay Vishnu is the Paramatma that is existing in every living entity. So we know, no, we have seen Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarva Bhudanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati, Brahmayan Sarva Bhudani Yandra Rudani Mayaya. So Ishvara Sarva Bhudanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati. So it is mentioned that Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, is situated in everybody's heart. Ishvara Sarva Bhudanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati. Then Brahmayan Sarva Bhudani Yandra Rudani Mayaya. So this living entity is wandering in all these different universes, Brahmayan Sarva Bhudani, and also in different bodies, right? Yandra Rudhani Maya. So this material body, which is given to the living entity, is just like a machine, which is given by the material energy. The material energy is providing the different jivas, different machines for according to their desires. So different, for somebody has a desire to fly, he gets a machine which is like a bird's body, which is suitable for flying. Somebody is interested in living in the water, he gets a body of a fish, like that actually. And then somebody is interested in eating too much, whatever, anything without any discrimination, he gets a body of hog. So based on the desire of the living entity, right, and his karma, the material nature gives different bodies. Yandra Rudhani Maya. So it is mentioned clearly that the body is only a machine, and the real force that is driving the machine is the Atma, which is the soul. So nevertheless, we have to understand the Paramatma actually is an expansion of Mahavishnu, right? And then it has entered every living entity's heart, and not only every living entity's heart, it has entered every atom. Andandarasta Paramanu Chayandarastam. That is mentioned. No, Brahma Samhita. Andandarasto means every anda means every atom, right? So the Shirodasha Vishnu in the form Paramatma, he enters every atom, and the entire material world is animated actually by the force of Paramatma, in every living entity. So there are also in 15:15, it is mentioned that Sarvasya Chaham Hridisannivishto Matas Smridit Nanam Abohanam Cha Vedaisha Sarvir Ahameva Vidyo Vedantakrit Veda Videha Chavam. So Sarvasya Chaham Hridisannivishto. So Lord says that I am situated in everyone's heart. Sarvasya Chaham Hridisannivishto Matas Smriti Nanam Abohanam. So the knowledge, so remembrance, knowledge, and what you call forgetfulness, right? Smriti Jnanam Apohanam. Everything is coming from the Lord. So only by virtue of Paramatma, the living entity is able to do its activities. Without sanction of Paramatma, living entity can't do anything. Right. So that's how the Purushas, three Purushas are there, the three Vishnus, right? So this is how actually the creation is happening in the sense. This is a sequence. How everything actually in the manifested or unmanifested world is a different expansions of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Right. It actually happens in various different kind of expansions. So some of them are known as Vishnu Tattva, where actually the Lord, the potency is more. And then there are Jiva Tattvas, Shakti Tattvas, like that. There are different categories of Jivas. Okay, so this is how the time, basically the hierarchy which is happening actually, of the different expansions of Krishna. Okay, so now let's move on. So here actually we look at little bit about the time scale. Okay, so in this sloka we saw that what are the different time scales? It is mentioned that 1000 yugas, Mahayuga is actually the one day of Brahma, right? So that we can understand a little more here in this picture. So we can see that the bottom is actually, see, one yuga, one Divya Yuga is the combination of 4 yugas, which is consisting of Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Satya Yuga. So these 4 yugas is about 4.32 million years. So this is the 4 yugas together, right? So this yugas, when it repeats 71 times, right, that is called one manvantara. That is a period of one manu. And and in one day of Brahma there are 14 manus, right? So one manvantara is 71 divya yugas, which is coming to 306 million years, and 14 manvantaras actually is one day of Brahma, which actually is 4.32 billion years. So no, and then this is just one day of Brahma, and similarly equally is the time of night of Brahma. So like that Brahma lives for 100 years. So that is when Brahma's life is 311 trillion 40 billion years. So that is how extremely huge time scale, we can't even imagine, right? So this is but just one breath of Mahavishnu. That actually one, no, the entire life of Brahmaji is just one inhalation and exhalation of Mahavishnu. That is the entire life scale, time scale of the life of Brahmaji. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this actually I think we already discussed about it. Yeah, so I already mentioned about the when Brahma goes to sleep, the higher planetary system are not destroyed. Like Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka, they are not destroyed. And residents like, so it is mentioned in the higher planet, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka are very exalted stages. Sages actually, they actually reach this higher planetary system. In Maharloka, actually those sages actually who have done extreme penance, those kind of sages will reach. And then the higher planetary system, like it is mentioned in Tapaloka, the four Kumaras, then Prajapatis, these kind of very elevated souls. Then somebody who is performing Naishtika Brahmacharya. So those kind of elevated souls goes to this higher planetary system, right? So there actually the environment is more conducive for doing meditation and other things. So, but no, but even until even if you go to Brahmaloka actually, which is the topmost, still actually nobody can escape the cycle of birth and death. The law of karma, the modes of material nature are still existing. Only thing is that it is mentioned that in very higher planet system like Brahmaloka, the subtle feature, the living entities doesn't have a gross body. In the Earth planetary system, we have the body which is made predominantly consisting of Earth, and in the fiery planets like Sun, it is predominantly made of the fire element. And in the higher planetary system, like in Brahmaloka, it is more at a subtle level. So we have Earth, water, air, fire, ether, then mind, intelligence, ego, like that it goes, right? So it is all mostly the mental platform, in the Brahmaloka planet. So, but actually, we don't have too much of information about this higher planet system. So there are some brief description, brief information available about this planet system. Okay, about higher planet system, and it is mentioned that during the so that's what actually. So for 36,000 years, it is mentioned that there will be a severe rain, like during the partial devastation, and then followed by violent winds and waves, and the seas and ocean overflow. So this it will continue for 72,000 years. This is the beginning of the partial devastation. And during the devastation period, all the jivas will be in the subtle body form, and will be completely in a sleeping state, in a dormant state. There won't be any activity, and then they merge to the body of Garbhodak Vishnu. Okay, so here till now, any questions? Are there anybody is having any questions? Okay, so then I think we'll talk about one small pastime, which actually in the Vedic scriptures there is an.
Prabhu, Ashok Prabhu has a question.
Okay, somebody can want to ask.
Yes, Prabhu. Thanks, Prabhu. Prabhu, here I got doubt like Mount Meru is there now. So that Meru is in each universe, or this is the only one?
Everything is in what all the things we are talking is only one universe.
So Mount Meru also will be there in that universe, is it?
Should be actually. So we don't have much information about other universes. So as we saw now, like so the living entity during the partial devastation, night of Brahma also, the living entity is not leaving the universe. It is in one universe only. They actually they are going to enter into the body of Garbhodak Vishnu, who is part of our current universe. So there are different opinions actually. If you read Brihad Bhagavatamrita, right, and Lagu Bhagavatamrita, so these are two important books actually which talk about spiritual worlds and material world. So there are different opinions in the scriptures actually. Some of them say that all the universes are similar dimensions and similar structure, but there are also different opinions saying that they are having different structures. And also there are opinions saying that all the Brahmaji will have same lifespan, and there is also opinion saying that Brahmajis have different lifespan. So, but there is differences for sure, because we know that our Brahma is having only 4 head actually. That means that we have 4 dimension. So it is mentioned that there are Brahmas like Brahma Viman Leela, and also the pastime in Dwarka, when the different Brahmas were called, they were actually having different heads. They were having hundreds heads, thousands heads, millions heads, like that. So that means that the number of dimensions are different actually. But no, we don't know. For example, if you ask exactly whether there are 14 planetary system in other planetary system, so if you look at the Goloka chart, they are all depicted in a similar way, but it's very vague. So we don't have generally more information about other universes, but more or less we can assume that it may be similar, but it is not, we can't be sure. So Mount Meru is part of our this thing, like on top of Mount Meru only the Swargaloka, actually that realm will come on the top of Mount Meru, and it is told that Brahmaji has actually a residence in that top of Mount Meru also. Sometimes when we come to the Swargaloka, he comes and stays in that particular residence.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move on. So there is a pastime which is an interesting pastime. Basically, this pastime, actually there was a king called Kakudumi, or no, Raivada, King Raivada, because he was ruling the province called of the Raivada. No, there's a mountain region called Raivada, and the king was known as Raivada or Kakudumi. So this king was a very pious and virtual, no, a very virtuous king, and he had no, he was very yogic and he had a lot of mystic powers. Okay, so he, when his daughter became the age of getting married, he wanted to find who is the best suitable groom for his daughter. His daughter's name was Revati, and he will actually he'll travel the entire earth, and entire the Bhumandala, and to find a suitable groom, but actually could not find anybody who he felt is suitable for her. Then actually he decides that he should take opinion of Brahmaji, who actually is the grandfather, and then who is source of all Vedic knowledge. So he, by his mystic power, King Raivada and Revati, both of them, they will actually transport themselves to Brahmaloka. And when they reach Brahmaloka, Lord Brahmaji, was actually, having some dance and some activities were going on actually by Apsaras. No, there was some ceremony, singing and dancing ceremonies were going on. So they have to wait for a few minutes, a few seconds, moments, and no, as soon as this is over, no, they will get an audience, and no, King Raivata actually will glorify Brahmaji, no, and then actually he will ask his, you will tell that no, we have come all the way, to take your opinion, so you should please guide us to find a suitable groom for my daughter. So Brahmaji, will be like, when he hears this, he'll be smiling, and no, then actually we'll be saying that no, you are already past a few moments here in my Brahmaloka. This means that almost 27 Mahayugas have passed in your earthly planet, right? Which means that all your relatives, and all their what do you call, all the descendants and their entire dynasty is not existing now by this time already, because so many millions of, 27 Mahayugas mean, it's an extremely long period, right? 43 lakh years into 27 times. So now you can imagine, right? Not, like everybody is gone, whatever we had, all relatives. No, and then actually, but he'll say, don't worry. Now it is Dwapara Yuga. So basically, many yugas cycles have passed. So King Raivada was in one of Satya Yuga, in a previous Yuga, maybe 27 yugas before, Chatra Yugas before. And then now at that time, by the time he spent so much time in Brahmalok, it is actually the current Dwapara Yuga has come. And Brahmaji will say, no, now you have a suitable groom in Lord Baldev. No? So you can actually go and ask his hand for your daughter. So then actually, they again transport back to here, and when they reach back, they will see that they will see a lot of changes in the world. So they will see that all people, people have become less intelligent. That is one thing, and people are very short. When they went, they actually, they were very giants actually when they came back, and everybody is very, very small people. And then finally they decide to arrange the marriage, and then Baldev will see that, okay, Revati actually, she's very tall, compared to his height, he's extremely tall. So he will use his what is it actually called, hala, right? He is having hala there, he's called hala, that actually, that plow, and then he'll put it on his head and push her down, so that her height becomes his same height. So then actually, their marriage is conducted in a very glorious way, like a lot of celebrations, everything happens. So this is just a small story, to understand that in our Vedic scriptures itself, the relativity concept of time, right? Actually, it is well known to our Vedic scriptures. So only thing is that we don't have much faith in our own scriptures, right? We think that they're all mythology, like something fantasy like that. But actually, we can see that there's so many information in Vedic scriptures, which actually nowadays, modern science is able to find only now. So this was one of the interesting story which which I wanted to share with you. So yeah, so this is Balram and Revati. Okay, so yeah, so everything said and done, ultimately what is our aim, right? So these are all interesting things to know, right? When we are in a beginning stage of devotional service, maybe these things may generate some interest in us. Okay, understanding about the universe, it's very fantastic, so many details are given, how, what is it, gigantic scale of time, etc., etc. But end of the day, what is that is required, we have to understand some basic what you call summary, or no important points from this is that, to understand that this material world is very magnificent and very wonderful. The creation in the material world is very beautiful. Everything is very wonderful happening. Even a small flower, if you take, its design is so wonderful, we cannot do it actually, artificially. So everything actually, Prabhupada used to say that mosquito, is very sophisticated actually, right? It doesn't need any fuel. If you want to run a helicopter, we need so much of money you have to spend, right? But mosquito doesn't need any fuel actually, it can go easily wherever it likes, right? And then it can stay in a particular place. So it's very wonderful actually, the creation. But we have to understand that behind this wonderful creation, beautiful creation, there is a beautiful and wonderful brain, right? And Brahmaji is only a secondary engineer. No, he has the power to create. Only the power is coming from the Supreme Lord Krishna, right? Who is the source of everything. And this material world, we should understand that it is a temporary place. In Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned Dukkha Alayam Ashashvatam, right? So it is a place of misery and it is a temporary place. So how much ever endeavor we put to become happy in this material world, right? Ultimately, everything is frustrated actually, because this place itself is temporary, right? Whatever. So we are actually sometimes, we'll think that okay, we'll say okay, I got permanent visa in USA, no, or I bought a property. Is it your own property or rental property? No, 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 it's my own property. Like, and then we think that okay, no, eternally we'll enjoy this property, right? But actually, our lifespan is very small. No, even in one lifetime itself, somebody can steal the property. No, but for what about actually many generations, right? We don't know. Nothing will exist actually eventually. So this place is temporary place. Whatever all this endeavor which we're trying to do, no, it's all very small. No, because we think that okay, I have got 80 years to live. We think that it's a very huge period, long period. But actually, just see Brahmaji's life itself is just one breath of Mahavishnu. So what is the significant? No, our time scale is extremely small. We don't even. It's like flashes. No, like just coming and going, coming and going. That's all our lifetime. Only because we can't remember our past lifetime. No, we think that okay, this is everything. This lifetime is everything, all in all. But actually, we have passed through so many millions of lifetimes, right? We can't see that. So that is why we should read scriptures. We should hear from Vaishnavas, devotees, associate with them, and understand what is the real goal of life. The real goal of life is to get out of this cycle of birth and death, and also to get out of this temporary material world, right? We have to. So beyond this material world, there is a permanent place abode. Parastasmastu bhavanyo vyakto vyakta sanadana yasa sarveshu bhudeshu nasyastu na vinashyati. So this is the next shloka which we covered. I will not go into more details of it, but actually Lord is saying that beyond this temporary material world, there is another place which is never destroyed, right? Yadgatvana nivartande taddhama paramam mama. Once you reach that particular abode, then actually you will never come back to this material world. Also in later in Bhagavad Gita, it's also mentioned, no? Nadat bhashayado suryo na shashango na pavaga yadgatvana nivartande taddhama paramam mama. So again in Bhagavad Gita, Lord gives some only very hints or glimpses of the spiritual world. No, he's saying that Nadat bhashayado suryo na shashango na pavaga. So in that supreme abode of me, there is no need of sun or moon for illumination, because this mentioned spiritual planets are Chintamani Dama, right? Chintamani Pragara Sadmashu Kalpavriksha, right? It goes. So Chintamani Dama is made of touchstone, and those spiritual planets are all self-effulgent. The Brahma Jyoti, which we actually the impersonalists want to attain, is just the rays which are coming from the spiritual world, right? So the spiritual world is actually eternally existing, and it is never destroyed. Even when the Brahma's day is over, entire universe is destroyed, all universe planetary system goes to the body of Mahavishnu. The spiritual abode is always unaffected by all the material transformations. So that actually is the eternal abode of all living entities. Whoever actually all we are now in this material world who are suffering, right, in various bodies of human beings, animals, trees, birds. No, we are all actually eternal residents of spiritual world, Vaikuntha planet. So as I mentioned, right, the Vaikuntha planets are 4 times the material world, and then the number of living entities, including all the living entities that you can see, microbes, the grass, the human beings, all of them together is only 10% of the total creation, right? So the 90% of the living entities are in the spiritual world, it's mentioned. But actually, because just like a frog in the well cannot underestimate the size of an Atlantic Ocean, right? Whatever he tries to, if you try to explain to the frog, he will always try to understand with respect to his current understanding, right? His current understanding is that he's having a small body and a small well. So he'll try to say how much big is the Atlantic Ocean. Is it 10 times of this well, or it is 1,000 times, or is 10,000 times? But actually, the Atlantic Ocean is innumerable times bigger than the well. So similarly, the living entities in the material world are actually under the curtain of Maya. So it is designed. The Lord has designed His material world because the living entities want to enjoy independent of the Lord without any trouble or any interruption. The Lord has given a forgetfulness to the living entity, which in the form of Maya. The Maya draws a curtain in the knowledge of the living entity, by which the living entity thinks that he is the Lord of everything. Now, and then he wants to enjoy. So Lord has provided this material world where actually they can try to enjoy, but never be successful, because this material world is just like a tree which is reflected in the water. There is a real tree which is in the spiritual world, which is having a lot of fruits. But when it is reflected in the water in the lake, and we try to enjoy the fruit from the lake, we cannot be ever successful. Never it is possible. But actually, all the living entities in the material world are trying to enjoy like that. No? The fruits which are there in the reflection. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, right? Urdhva Moolam Adha Shaga Ashwatam Prahuravayam. So there is a tree which is inverted actually, no, with the roots are upwards and the branches downwards. So this is the tree, no, this is the spiritual world which is reflected in the material world. So this is the design. So we should understand that the material world is like this by design. It is not, no, we try to reform the material world and try to solve all the problems. That is not possible actually, because it is by design. It is like this. And in Kali Yuga especially, everything actually is, no, is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. So there will be bound to have more and more problems. So an intelligent person is one who understands this. What is my position? Who am I? Where did I come from? Right? What is the relation between the Supreme Lord and me? And what is the process by which I can go back? So this is the fundamental things an intelligent devotee should think. Right? That is known as the Abhyudaya, Sambandha, and Prayojana. So Prayojana is the ultimate goal or benefit that I can achieve. What is the ultimate goal or topmost benefit that I can achieve? So that actually is the going back to the spiritual world where we belong. That is the topmost benefit. And what is the Sambandha? No, what is my relationship with Supreme Lord? Right? So Krishna says that Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loge Jiva Buddha Sanadana. Manashashtani Indriyani Prakritistani Karshadi. So he's saying that all these living entities that were suffering in the material world, they are my part and parcel. And Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishna and Nityadas. The constitutional position of living entity is to serve the Supreme Lord. The Lord has created the living entity so much variegatedness for his enjoyment. And when we are when we are situated in our constitutional position of serving the Lord, then that is the only situation where we can be permanently happy. Everything else actually we try to do independent of the Lord, we'll never be happy. Right? So this is the constitutional position. So when we are practicing the devotional service, when we are chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when we are doing that, when we are chanting the holy name of the Lord, we are actually associating the Lord, because it is mentioned that no, abhinnatvam nama namino, right? So basically, it means that there is no difference between the holy name of the Lord and the Lord Himself. When we take the holy name of the Lord Krishna, right, it is told that the Lord is actually present, because the Lord is present in the form of sound. He incarnates in various ways. No, it is mentioned that Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. In Kali Yuga, the Lord has appeared in the form of His holy names. So when we chant the holy name of the Lord, or when we do any devotional activity, any spiritual activity, we are actually associating with the Lord. And this process of associating with the Lord, the spiritual energy of the Lord, that is the way by which we can purify us, because we are in the material world for so many millions of lifetime in different bodies. Our heart is contaminated. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given the process of Chetodarpana Marjanam. Right? We have to clean the heart actually of all the contamination, so that the covering of Maya will gradually be removed, and then we will be able to see ourselves. As long as our mind and consciousness is covered, we cannot really see who we are. Right? So that is why the process of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and other devotional service is recommended, by which all the contamination is removed and the heart, which is like a mirror, will be clean. Then we'll be able to really identify who we are. Right? Once we identify who we are, then we will be able to identify who the Supreme Lord is. So that is the process given by the acharyas, right, which we are trying to practice. So, and this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not a mantra of this material world. No, it is mentioned around Narottam Das Thakur says, Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. So this Goloka is the topmost. So we have the spiritual world, which is consisting of innumerable Vaikuntha planets, and of all the Vaikuntha planets, Goloka Vrindavan is the topmost abode, right? And this Harinam Sankirtan, Harinam is coming from the topmost spiritual planet of Goloka Vrindavan, right? And whoever actually is able to chant Hare Krishna mantra, they are actually the most fortunate living entity in the material, in the entire creation. Right? It is mentioned, no? Brahmanda Brahmide Kono Bhagavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Kripa Paye Bhakti Lata Beach. After wandering through so many millions of universes, Brahmanda Brahmide Kono Bhagavan Jiva. Bhagavan means most fortunate soul. Right? Guru Krishna Kripa Paye Bhakti Lata Beach. By the mercy of Guru and Krishna, he gets the seed of devotion. So whoever gets this seed, they are the most fortunate. There cannot be anybody who is more fortunate than them. So somehow or other, all of us who have joined the program, right, who are associating with devotees, they are, we should consider ourselves to be very, very fortunate that actually, somehow we got association, somehow we got opportunity to chant the holy name of the Lord. And then we should never actually lose this seed of bhakti which is given to us, which is like the most precious thing that that we can achieve. It is a prema dana, that is the topmost, right? The topmost perfection is actually to get the Krishna prem, right, by which we can go back to the spiritual world. So with that, I would like to end the session. We're already 5 minutes late. So if I don't know if you have time for questions or any comments, if devotees have, no, they can we can try to I don't know, like Sumit Prabhu, I'm not sure. And if I have spoken anything, actually, no, if you felt that something is impudent or inappropriate, I would like to beg forgiveness from all the devotionals. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Apajit
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu. Thank
Yes,
you.
Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for enlightening us on about this material world. how much it is beautiful, and also we should not be entangled in this material world. And one point is that we have to take our human life is very serious and to go back for it. That was briefly explained by you. Thank you very much. Let's all chant one time Hare Krishna for our spiritual growth and also for Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna. So I request all the devotees now to join with me for a Sankirtana Yajna. We'll all together do chanting for around 5:50